Donald Trump has clinched the Republican presidential nomination, capping off a stunning political comeback fueled by grievance and vengeance, and formally entering what's poised to be the longest and costliest general election in recent memory. The former president on Tuesday night crossed the threshold for the number of delegates needed to become the GOP nominee. The AP reported that allows Trump free rein to consolidate the Republican Party's political operation and fully turn his attention towards a rematch with Biden if elected. Trump has vowed to root out the so-called deep state of civil servants, crack down on illegal immigration, enact protectionist trade policies, and curtail the U.S.'s role in the world. Tom, how big of a deal is this, and what were some of the Battlegrounds numbers you were looking at that the audience should be aware of?
Well, we didn't go to CNN. We didn't go to Fox. We didn't go to any of a number of things. We went to Bloomberg that ran a very academic set of polls. And Rob, if you could pull these up, look at these Battleground polls right now. By the way, they did a synopsis of sentiment. And a synopsis of sentiment is you ask the voter their general sentiment. And here is their response. Their response is that basically they hear from Biden, Trump bad, Trump evil. So that's what they're hearing. And what they're hearing from Trump, immigration a problem, economy a problem. Those were the top two. We know immigration's number one. We've heard these polls before, right, Adam? That the immigration's number one. So that's what we're hearing. And so voters are hearing issues from Trump, those two, and they're hearing basically just Trump's a bad guy from Biden. Isn't that interesting? So what do they think about it in the polls? The Bloomberg polls, please, Rob. Check this out. Let's go Battleground states. Arizona, Trump at 49%, plus 6 to 43. Battleground state, Georgia, all that negative publicity, all the stuff you think Georgia didn't like Trump because of the court cases. Whoops. Trump 49, Biden 43, Trump 6 in Georgia.
And Tom, this is Bloomberg.
This is Bloomberg, and it shows no bounce from the State of the Union. Michigan, actually the tightest of the Battleground. Trump 46, Biden 44, Trump plus 2. Nevada, you've got, what is that, SEIU? I hope I'm saying that right. The Service Employees Union, which is so big in Nevada, Harry Reid carried that union in his pocket for so long. It's actually Trump 48, Biden 42, Nevada plus 6 Trump. North Carolina, Trump 50, Biden 41, Trump plus 9. Pennsylvania, here it is, Trump 49, Biden 43, Trump plus 6. Wisconsin, Trump 46, Biden 42, Trump plus 4. Ladies and gentlemen, today, Bloomberg, all the battleground states, the battlegrounds are defined as the blue wall battleground is what they call it. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Trump 3-0. And the second tier battleground, they call North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona. Trump 3-0. And then you throw in Nevada, which usually doesn't matter in the election. If the election was held today, this is over.
But here's my question, though. With all the information, because, Rob, you had this chart a while ago, with all the states that require no photo ID, all this mail-in ballot, the Democrats, to me, don't seem like they're panicking. Tom, is
Democrats don't seem like they're panicking? The Democrats have been panicking everywhere, with all due respect.
Okay, but go ahead. I'll say my part after you.
Listen to all the things they've been saying that they've been panicking
Vinny,
about.
you know what
Bill Maher?
with all due respect, is code word for go fuck yourself. Yeah. But on the other hand.
Yeah, but if Tom finished, because I want to still ask my question.
No. I mean, we've seen Democrats and their proxies panicking for weeks. And they were hoping that the State of the Union would be a bounce. And as I said on the podcast where we had Candace, I said I thought the tone was sharp, the tone was bright, he looked sharp, but there was nothing said of substance that the voter was going to cling on to. The polls are showing that to be true.
So here's my question, though. I'm going to just 2020, we're all asleep. And remember that chart? It's Trump and then Biden. And then all of a sudden, overnight, mail-in ballots went like this. It shot up, Tom, and everybody lost their minds. My question is, even though this is saying this, is the no voter ID, no photo ID, mail-in ballot situation, that's why I'm saying they're not panicking, that they know at the end of this, if the court thing doesn't work or all this shit that's happening with Trump, that's their shoe-in to win because they put all the laws in place after COVID.
I'd be lying if I said I'm not worried about election security and all the things that go with it. I'd be lying. But I'm also have faith in the American voter and what's going on here. If this is really the case and this is stolen, I mean, forget January 6th. The country's going to go ape.
Let me ask you this question. Let's say New York Post tweet is left on, okay, and wasn't taken down. You know which one I'm talking about? Hunter Biden laptop.
Yeah.
And this was what, October surprises. What do they call it? October
surprise.
Yeah.
So let's say that's left, okay, and they don't take it down, called fake news, and 50 different former, intelligence people have signed that this is all bullshit, fake, right? We all saw it was all a lie, right? And let's say there is no gamification, no drop in, nothing. We find out that night whether Trump or Biden wins. By how much do you think Trump would have won that night in 2020?
Even with the mail-in ballot?
No. We don't go the additional 15, 20 days, whatever it was.
Okay.
That night, that Tuesday, when we're up 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, let's say they count everything that night. By how much do you think Trump would have won? If you think that's the case, by how much?
He would have had, I've done the math, he would have touched 300 electoral votes.
He would have touched 300 electoral votes.
Yep. And you only need 279.
That's right. So you're saying it would have been a slam dunk, not even a problem, he would have won.
Things like Georgia would have flipped because they were razor thin. I think Pennsylvania would have stayed with him.
And they're saying just because of the polling that they said that people, if that was true,
so
that decision
close.
would have
But bing, bing.
The reason why I'm asking this is the following. In a game when you're playing and they say, listen, the NFL wants LeBron to win the championship. We know that. The NBA wants LeBron to win the championship. The NFL wants Patrick Mahomes to win the championship. Like, you know how there's always that talk where who the NFL or the NBA would want that to win the championship.
And one bad call is like, that's their magic switch.
Or for example, like even in boxing, hey, boxing wants Fury to beat Ngannou because there's no way Fury. So guess where you don't want it to go to? Guess where you don't want it to go to? Where? A decision, right? That's what they say. So trust me, the calls are going to go for Kansas City. What's the one thing? They haven't had a holding called on it for I don't know how many quarters or whatever everybody talks about, right?
The offensive line was perfect angels.
So they said in the 3 Super Bowls, there's never been a holding call on the Kansas City Chiefs. Can you fact check me, Rob? It's one of those things where no holding call Kansas City Chiefs. Just type that and something will come up. Kansas City Chiefs, see which one comes up. Zoom the not called for a single holding call. The offense was called for a holding penalty
and you can
just once in the last 3 Super Bowls.
3 Super Bowls.
Two players mugging him right there.
Yeah. So meaning that the holding. But imagine you're the other team, okay, and you're the coach. How do you coach that team? Do you coach the team to make sure the referee's on your side, or how do you coach them? You coach the team and you say what? Listen. Here's what you got to realize. They're going to call it against you. They're going to want them to win. They're going to favor them. Whatever you do, you have to win big. You can't win by, fourth quarter, 3 minutes left where, we're up 3. You can't do it based on that. They're going to give them the calls. We have to make sure we go so big that if they do any of the calls, we win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. We cannot win by a field goal because we're not going to, okay? So what's the point here? There's a big difference between this and 2024. I think 2020, to me, was a very, very super close game. Very super close game. And guess what? The referees didn't call holding on the New York Post Twitter account, the tweet. You had to know that.
Yeah.
They're not going to call the tweet for you. They're not going to call holding. And so you made the race be close and you lost, right? So there's a part of that, but it doesn't mean it's not cheating. Of course it's cheating.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean any of that. Of course, hey, why are you not? And then later on, why'd you 50 intelligence people came out and now we know what's true? What are you talking about? All that manipulation that they did. The only difference that they don't have now, Vinny, is the following. Now we know that tweet was right. Now we know the 50 intelligence were lying. Now we know. And now we know he doesn't bring world peace. Now we know now we know life is more expensive for Americans. Now we know. Now you know. Here's what you have right now, which is very, very difficult for these guys. Nobody can say you don't know how a Trump candidacy is going to be. And nobody can say, you don't know what a Biden candidacy is going to be. Nobody. There is no, well, what if this?
Speculation.
There is zero speculation. You know Biden, you know Trump. Now, this is proof.
Yeah.
These are facts. These are not hypotheticals. RFK, we don't know.
Very good point.
So that's the part we don't, but we do know exactly what happened with Trump, and we do know exactly what happened with Biden. Now go make the decision based on that. So I think it's going to be a very different 2024 than 2020.
And do you think, in your heart of hearts, though, if the they that Biden keeps talking about, because he's not running the show, because that's what they've always wanted, do you genuinely think that if it gets to where they know that because they've already cheated how many times, if they see that and they see this, Tom, do you think that there's an actual genuine possibility that they try to do something to make us not vote, or to do something on that election, like in that month?
They may. And guess what? Guess what? You have to be ready for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been telling people.
They may. You have to be ready for it.
Yep.
They may. And there has to be, it was Manhattan Beach where the BLM tried to go riot. You know what happened at Manhattan Beach when they tried to...
Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach. Do you know what happened when they tried to riot Huntington Beach?
The people showed up.
Oh, straight up.
Oh, really?
Oh, straight up. But like bikers, everybody showed up. They said, come on, let's go do something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they showed up, and then they're like, no, not a good idea. Turn around. They left, okay? They went to Glendale. They tried to do whatever they were doing with LGBTQ in Glendale with the kids.
Mom,
you know what happened? Armenian parents showing up. You know what they did?
Yeah.
You don't mess with Armenians. Are you kidding me? They showed up. So to me, I think there has to be an element of saying, don't do this again. Don't try this again. Okay? There's a community of people that literally have nothing to lose. I think this is the wrong time for them to play those games. I think this is the wrong time for them.
I hope so.
I think this is the wrong time for them to play those games.
People know what Biden is. People know what Trump is. And Biden saying the sentiment, this is not Tom, not BizDoc, this is not me. The sentiment, people in these states were saying, he keeps saying Trump bad, Trump wrong, and it's not sticking. They're saying, wait a minute, I know Trump. I know what happened to the economy. I know what he tried to do at the wall. I know what's going on, and it's not sticking. And instead, Trump is saying, look at immigration, look at the economy. It's sticking because they know it's real. It's not perception. So I trust the voters, and right now, Battleground voters are saying, I had enough, and I'm going this way.
I hope so.
Let me just weigh in for a sec. These spring polls, they're helpful. But we're 8-9 months away from the election. A lot of things can change. So let's just establish that. And we all know the following. There's 100,000 people in this country that determine the outcome of every single election. And they're in these battleground states that we just mentioned. The blue wall of Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, throw in a little bit of Georgia, throw in a little bit of Nevada, North Carolina. Boom, you have your election. It's not 80 million votes on one side and 78 million on the other side. It's 100,000 people that basically have bipolar complex every 4 to 8 years when they vote for Bush, then Obama, and then Trump, and then Biden. They go back and forth. So, and my grandma's one of them. She voted for Bush, and then she voted for McCain, and then she voted for Trump, and then she voted for Biden. She just goes back and forth, and she's in, where it is, Michigan. And that's how people operate there. So here's what I can guarantee. I got a lot of heat in 2020 where I said, look, guys, I follow the Vegas odds. Biden's favored. You're crazy. He's not going to win. I go, I'm just following the Vegas odds. So right now, Trump is favored. And everyone's like, you can't trust the polls. You can't trust the odds. Well, turns out you could. So it's interesting that now that Trump is sort of favored, we kind of trust these polls. Here's what I can guarantee. In October, you're going to hear the following story. Race heats up. Too close to call. Yeah. Get to the polls. You'll never know what's going to happen. Need your vote. Rock your vote. So that's something I can guarantee. Last point of this. Today, the number of the day is 4. So, because today marks the 4-year anniversary of when Trump declared a national state of emergency because of COVID. It was today, 4 years ago. Since then, the United States government has spent and printed $4.4 trillion to basically fight off COVID and the pandemic. Both candidates are polling in the low 40s. Biden, some say he's in the high 30s. It's neck and neck, whatever, depending on the state. They're both in the low 40s. And the question is, which one of these candidates, the old and senile Joe Biden or the old and angry Donald Trump, deserves 4 more years. So we'll see what happens there. By the way, I'm not sure if you heard, in Georgia, I believe they dropped 5 of the counts against Trump.
6.
So,
I think it was
okay,
6.
oh, 6 of the counts, you're right. So it went from 91 to now 85 counts. So as far as 85, there it is, 6 counts. So 85, it's now 85 counts. So you have the 85 counts against Trump. And by the way, if Biden does win, how old will he be at the end of his term? 85 years old. There's some numbers.
But he won't remember the day that he was sworn in. But go ahead.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.